Hey yo, it's your boy Sam Duke.
Ho, ho, ho. It's your man, Tel McKell.
What's up? It's your boy Warren P.
You are listening to another great episode of
You
You
good,
good,
bruh?
bruh?
Yes,
Shit.
sir. Yes, sir, man. It has been a year, people. It's
It's
almost
been
over.
a shitty year.
I concur.
We might have to open with that.
You want to open with it's been a shitty year,
It's
bro?
been a shitty year, bro. Like, it's just terrible.
Nah,
But we're
But
gonna
we
end it
but
out strong though.
we survived. We survived, and we better for it, I
man.
suppose.
I mean, yeah, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I'm with you though. I think it's been one of those years. I'm glad to be here.
Right.
You know, end of the year, glad to be, able bodied and able to go into 2024. But
Right.
I feel like 2023 is beat up on me a little bit, man. So that's
Good
all I got.
riddance. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Good riddance. Thank you.
I
packed
can't
the
share
shit up.
everything on the pod, but Mikhail saved my life. Like things were getting so bad out here.
Man,
Oh,
what?
Lord.
I wasn't about to do anything to myself. I was about to do something to somebody. But Mikhail saved me.
Mikhail's good for that. Mikhail's good for that. He's
That's what I
gonna
heard.
definitely come through in the clutch, man. He's gonna definitely come through the clutch. I mean, this is something that we do pretty much every year. We want to kind of come together, wrap up,
Right.
kind of wrap up what we've discussed throughout the year. Actually, it's funny because before we started doing this, I was putting together all these topics, and I'm like, oh, look at all the stuff we actually talked about this year. This is actually pretty cool. I'm looking at this as like we started the year off doing the mental health conversations with Ryan Cameron Foundation. Remember the kids?
Oh,
And
yeah.
Yeah,
Great
that was dope.
kids. Great
videos
kids.
with them. That was a dope experience, to be honest with you. I hope that in 2024 we can do a lot more of that.
Excuse me. Yeah. I mean,
just
that experience for me is like, as much as I may complain about mental health and the industry and how it's actually toxic on the clinician side, which is kind of ironic, but it's events like that make all of that worth it, like all that you go through. So it's like, I would love to do that again, and see what else we can do about it.
Yeah, and I mean it was really dope. It's just a dope experience. It was cool to see mental health aware children, like
Yes.
kids.
Oh yeah.
Like there, I how sometimes you wonder about the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt good about our future after leaving there. I was like, these are some like mentally astute. They aware. They understand what they have going on.
Right.
I think
I
they
came
have
home
an
and bragged to my wife about it. Like,
Yeah, I was like,
I was so impressed.
those are the type of children I want to see my children turn into.
Yes.
Kids that understand what's going on, understand what's going on with the world.
Right.
But then we went from doing that, jumping right into the messiness of mental health versus accountability. What does that look like? Do people use mental health as a crutch?
I feel some kind of way about that.
Yeah, Warren and
Warren
Miguel went back
feels
and forth about that.
100% that way that people do that. But we can go on to the next topic. I just want that to be stated. That ain't changing ever.
I know, right? And then we went into the messy mess of Tory Lanez and Meg. That was part two. That's after I think that's after he got convicted. And he's been sentenced now.
Before and after. It was before and after.
Well, we did before the year before, and then he got convicted.
Oh yeah. Okay.
He got convicted in 2023.
That's one of those I hate women podcasts. They try to put on me, but I take it.
Man, nobody try to put that on you, man. You skated that line real thin, brother.
I just said, just can we hear the brother out? If he goes to jail, he goes to jail. I just was like, damn, they was like, nah, that nigga guilty because she said it.
That nigga filleted that line between I hate women really close on that topic.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you that though. But you stood 10 toes. That's the reality.
Now the nigga in jail. Hey, wow.
That's
we
true.
all satisfied.
we are, man. We talked about cycles. I think that was a pretty good episode.
Cycles was a big one.
Yeah, that was
I think
really
my favorite episode was the Bourbon and Brotherhood.
Bourbon and Brother. You know what's crazy, bro? I have not posted that episode, dog. That was a great episode. I've tried to edit because it's the biggest editing episode. I had so many clips and stuff. I need to put that one out. That one's going out before the end of the year. I'll do that. That's on me.
Okay.
Bourbon and Brotherhood goes out before the end of the year. That is my 2023 treat to y'all because that was a hell of an event.
I don't disagree. And it gave a voice to Black men, which under some circumstances gets attacked whenever we, express ourselves. So
shout out to the Pickney Group, right? It was Pickney Group. I got to shout out to the Pickney Group for putting that event together. When I tell you it was great, it was self-care. There was a tailor there for guys that never got their measurements. There was there was a cigar roller. We did bourbon tastings.
Right.
There was a makeup artist that was teaching us about skincare and how to take care of your skin as men and keeping it moisturized, keeping your face, the taking care of your skin and how that can potentially keep you looking younger, fresher, all of that.
Right.
How many cats had on fedoras out there?
Bruh, not too many, bro.
Not too many. Not two. Maybe I think two.
Hey, you think you funny, bro? Nah, nigga, not too many people had on fedoras, bro. But it was really a great event, man. Self-care event to the T. I'm gonna put Bourbon and Brotherhood out tomorrow. Okay. It'll be done today. I'll put it out tomorrow. So that you guys can experience it. On top of that, we went into the best ability is vulnerability. That was a really good episode when we talked about, what it looks like for men to be vulnerable. We're going to have a little bit more to talk about when it comes to that. Because I think we started off the year right, 2023 right, when it comes to vulnerability. I don't know if society ended the year off right when it comes to men expressing their vulnerabilities. And that's just my take,
No, we get attacked. We tend to get attacked.
We'll get into it when we get into it, right? And then let's see, we got Dr. Umar when he was talking about how men forced women to be masculine, but our Black women to be masculine. Black men forced Black women to be masculine by leaving her to raise children on her own, those type of things.
Right.
We got a lot of blowback about that one, but I agree with him. I think that there's a lot.
There's truth to it. There's a lot of truth to it.
I will reiterate a point that Mikhail made is that Black men have benefited from the masculinity of Black women because they were our mothers. They're the ones that raised us, and we can't turn our back on Black women because, we benefited from it. Now we don't want to come back and help fix it. You know what I'm saying? I think our women do deserve that, that soft life. They do deserve to be able to let their guard down and be, more feminine, but it's on us to create that space for them to be able to do that. So that's another, episode we discussed. Close friends. This one actually did really well as well. Close friends. Mikhail broke down the hierarchy of friends. If you can't, go ahead and break that down real quick for us.
Oh, I mean, it's so basically the concept is that in terms of mental health is that we need support. You need to have different cast of characters in your life to have a proper support. So what does that look like? The problem is that people use the term friend across the board, and that's not accurate. So there's 4 levels to it. Most people are familiar with associates, right? Like, oh, that's just an associate of mine. To me, by the definition, associate would be like your neighbor, somebody that you see, you speak to, you may even know their first name, but y'all ain't in each other's houses, y'all ain't hanging out together. It's just you see them at the mailbox, y'all wave. Associates are important. The next level is casual friend. Now, a casual friend is somebody that you have a like interest in. Like if you like to play golf, play basketball, it's somebody that you go hang out with. Not necessarily somebody you bring over to the house, but at the same time, it's somebody that you do something that y'all enjoy together, right? The next one is close friend. Close friend is where people think they have the bulk of their friends, and it's not true. if you really review your quote unquote close friends, you'll realize that they really are associates or casual friends. You just kind of bumped them up because you didn't know that there was levels to this. And then the last one is called an intimate friend. And the intimate friend, this person knows everything about you and you know everything about them. And if you don't have any of those four, then you're pretty destabilized in terms of support. And the way you can visualize it is like a pyramid. The bottom half would be associates, the next level, casual friend, close friend, and at the top, intimate friend. That's the number. That's the numerical structure. Definitely have a lot of associates under there because those are people that you could eventually bump up to casual friend. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Your neighbor might actually like the golf and they saw you like, hey man, let's go play around next weekend. And you come to find out that you and that person actually get along. And that, is somebody that you could bring closer to you. So that's the value of having this bottom half being really large. Like it also causes you to be a kind person because you got to speak to everybody. In our society, we kind of gotten to the place where we pride ourselves on not speaking, and
It's
we
got-
see what
It's
you
got
see
a
what
little
it's
weird
doing.
out here, bro. It's got a little weird out here. I ain't gonna lie to you.
So that's what I'm getting at. Like it's when you look at the state of, I don't want to say state of the union. When you look at the state of society, that's kind of where I'm saying like we've lost the ability to be kind. Like I don't know why people think if you're peaceful, that means that you're weak. You know what I mean? Like that doesn't mean that. Peace doesn't mean that. It's just the opposite. If I'm a peaceful person, the other version of me is the one that you need to worry about. That's it, because it's a choice to be peaceful in this world. Yeah. It doesn't mean I can't be hostile. It doesn't mean I can't be a protector. It just means I choose to walk in peace because life is stressful enough. Why do I want to create more stress? I speak to everybody I see. I shake hands wherever I can, even in these COVID streets. You just gotta keep your damn hand sanitizer and keep it moving. That's technically what you have to do. But I walk in that. Like I just think that if we could start getting back to society instead of this individualism, things might turn around for our country. But I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
Being
know about
kind.
that, bro. Being kind, yeah, I don't know about that, bro. I think we lost a lot of that during COVID, bro. I think people are still trying to reestablish that and haven't gotten there yet. Like I feel like everybody's still in that space where they just like to be where they like to be with who they like to be, and it's not. I haven't felt that, especially being in the South. I haven't felt that spirit has come back yet. To be honest,
yeah, I mean it's hard to feel
because a lot of New Yorkers have moved down here.
No, that ain't got nothing to do with it. Because
I
said it. I said it.
I mean, you said it, but you could be wrong. And the thing of it is that what I've observed is that people are not sure. They're not thinking about society. The pandemic made us think about the end of our lives. And when you think about, man, there used to be this old, if tomorrow was your last day on earth, what would you do with your time? It's not going to be, let me go hang out at a club, or it's not going to be, it's going to be, let me go see the world. So if you notice, people have been traveling everywhere. So people are very aware of their mortality right now. And they're not thinking about wasting time, quote unquote, wasting time with no new Negroes or whatever you want to call it. The reality is that the support that you need, which is friends or circle of friends, without it, your quality of life is minimized.
Yeah.
Because, yes, you could travel alone, but life is more fun with company. So what are we doing? It's like, this isolationism is really becoming a problem.
It's becoming an issue. I mean, and I don't really know, like, I don't even know how to move forward from it, to be honest with you.
Well, I mean, you still have people, like, you could tell it's breaking people. Like, if you look at for example, like the airline flights, where people are like nutting up on the flight, what do you think that is? Them people look like they had normal lives 2-3 years ago. There's nothing about them that says that they should have snapped. But yet here they are snapping on the flight, about to be put on a no-fly list for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
know, that's indicating high stress. Like they can't even process the world properly, bro. Like, so I mean, that's kind of where I am with it. I think that the opportunity here is for us to create new friendships out of this trauma, which was the pandemic. The politics is not helping. You know, the constant reels of information coming in about this person over that person, or this incident over that incident, and your association or attachment to it. You know, we were talking earlier how, you know, thinking about being Black has not been in the front of our minds, but the world ain't forgot.
That's true. Yeah, like everybody's got we've lost the. It's funny that you said that, because I think the next few episodes really kind of hit on this, right?
Yeah.
We have the should a woman date a bus driver? That's the holy acrimony.
Right.
And then there's the civil rights relations that in that episode, I think I didn't think we branded it correctly, to be honest.
Yeah,
with you.
I think it was a missed opportunity.
I think it was a real big missed opportunity to have a really good conversation about, you know, even though we've progressed as a society, I think we've regressed as a unit.
Yes.
Mhm.
You know, we've regressed as like a unit when we see women from past generations, i.e., was it Huey P. Newton's wife?
Yeah, it was the Black Panthers. Like 70% of Black Panthers were women.
Were women, yeah. We're finding out.
Right. We reflected on Coretta Scott King and how she actually had a more powerful role than a lot of people realize, because she kept things going after the fact. After Martin was killed, it was Coretta that was steering the ship.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I felt was lost on us as men. Like we tried to devalue them, but I wonder if it was a reaction to Black women devaluing us. You know, like where, you know, you got old boy talking about he's the prize, for example, and Jonathan Owens, and all this vitriol pops up attacking men's value. You know, and I was like, damn, I mean, I think I'm valuable. I think I.
Well, I mean, and you know what you know what's interesting is, you know, my wife actually asked. She was just like, well, if you ask women to have good men, most of them will say their men are the prize. Like if you really talk to women that have good men, not like, you know, women that's just still out here. Like it's like you sit with a woman that got a good man, she'll tell you he's the prize, you know, and she'll also give you the reason why she thinks he's the prize as well. Not to say that this is a competition, but I think that, you know, every day you hear women talk about how it ain't nothing but pee out here in the dating pool. Like you hear they say it ain't nothing but pee and shit in the dating pool. And then for a woman that has a man who they think highly of, who is their emotional support system, who they don't have to worry about being, you know, out all night, who takes care of his family, who I think that they see that as like, damn, compared to what I'm hearing from my peers, I got a prize. That's just my take. You know,
men say the same thing too.
and I say, you know, Jonathan Owens, I think he's in an interesting position where he's married to Simone Biles. I'm not married to Simone Biles. But at the same time, I think that I think it should be okay for a man to feel as if he is a catch.
Special.
And for him to act in that manner. You know,
that's what I'm saying. Like, it's really curious to me that just because he said he was the prize, that doesn't automatically mean that she's not. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like, because I say that I'm good doesn't mean that you're bad, and that's how I felt like people were taking it. I think Simone is a prize. I think he feels like he's a prize, and they're a prize together, and they're lucky that they found one another.
Look, I mean, you have a lot of people out here who will get upset. You know how most people say happy wife, happy life. If a man says, me being one of those, man, happy spouse, happy house, will get upset. Like, oh, that's I expect a sassy comment like that from you. So it's just like, hold on.
Well,
Like
then I guess I'm sassy.
I can't be happy.
The
Like,
fuck?
or even with my wife, like I think I have the best wife on the planet. But I'll also say, hey, she got a hell of a husband too. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong
Yeah.
with having self-confidence. And that's why I find it really interesting. Like, you want a man to be a leader, but when he demonstrates self-confidence, which is a leadership quality, you attack him. And he's in a relationship that they are happy because Simone backed him up. Like, what is this energy out here in the world that we attack people that are seemingly happy?
Well, it's
misery
the
loves
energy
company.
that it's the energy
Yeah.
that's counter to what we were discussing when it came to the civil rights relations. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's the energy that's like literally that is like it's a competitive energy. You
Mm.
know what I'm saying? It's not a collaborative energy.
So
You
women are
know,
better. You're saying that women think that they're better men than we are.
I
Is that
wouldn't
what you're
go
saying?
there. I wouldn't go there. I'm
Some
just
do,
saying.
yes.
I'm just saying that it seems as if we're in a space now where it's women competing with men and men competing with women. When, like you said, me saying I am a prize is not me saying you're not.
Right.
And when you compete, that's what it's almost like. They look at it like first and second place is like second place is the
Right.
first loser, right? That's
Right.
what you know. And so, and I think that that's the way we're looking at it. It's like it's a competitive spirit, and we've lost a collaborative spirit in between, black men and black women. And I think that
Right.
that's the issue that we have. It's like when we pull it out there, when women say they're the prize, men want to compete too. I'm not gonna like just make it one sided. When women
Mhm.
say they're the prize, sometimes men be like, "Well, shit." Not based on what I hear out here, you know what I'm saying? And and I think that that's the spirit we got to really fight. Not me because I'm married, and
Right.
and y'all married.
Yeah.
But I think that's the spirit that for the people that are out here trying to get to the point, if that's the goal for you, if partnership is the goal for you, then you shouldn't be in a space where you hear things like that and you think competitively instead of collaboratively. You
Right.
know, and what that man can add to your life and what that woman can add to your life. Because you want somebody that thinks highly of themselves. You want somebody that's the shit. You want somebody that's got it out the mud and made something of himself and feels some type of way about himself,
I
and
mean,
vice versa.
we say that, but I often think about, be careful what you wish for because you just might get it. Because it's like, I feel as if, especially nowadays, people don't understand that there are pros and cons to everything. There is yin and yang to everything. For a person to have these type of traits, more than likely, some characteristics that may not be the best come along with that. And
Sure.
I think we expect perfection, and that's just not a reality. Like, hey,
Is
my
it
wife is
perfection? Is it perfection, or is it that they don't know what they're asking for? They don't
that may
realize
be it
the
too.
consequence of what they're asking for.
That may
Um,
be it too. Like my wife, she works very hard, runs a great business, but with that, sometimes we may not be able to spend as much time as we would like to. You'll have
trade off.
people I know of some of my women friends who have stopped talking to a man. They want a rich man, but a part of that wealth is him working extremely hard, and she'll say, "Well, he doesn't make enough time for me." It's like, hey, if you want this, you got to take that. I know
Right.
cats that want dime pieces, but then at the same time will get
Something
upset
come
when
with
she
it.
gets a lot of attention from men.
Right.
Like, hey,
Yeah.
if you want that, you got to be willing to accept what comes along with that.
Yeah, it's the intended versus the unintended consequences of what you're looking
Yeah.
for.
I mean, that's the thing, is that the measure of a trade off is really not on the front end of when you meet somebody. So, like you said, somebody that's beautiful, right? So you meet her and you're like, God damn, she bad. You reacted to it. She's digging on you. You excited about it, and y'all are walking, through a restaurant, and Joker's at the bar, like, God damn, you can't be insecure with a beautiful woman. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you are
Yeah.
secure, then you can handle that. You ain't thinking about them Negroes. You focused on what you have. And that's the problem. I think in our society, people sign up for things, but they haven't done the work on themselves to be secure. And just like with women, if they want a man that has means, you think that other women don't want it? You think the other women ain't in his DM? You know,
Man,
just like you. So you
they
got to be
there.
secure.
They
You got
there.
to, yeah, you got to be secure in yourself. And if you ain't secure in yourself, stop pining for that man, because all you're gonna do is bring dissatisfaction in your life, and it's just gonna make you pretty much perpetuate the thought that men ain't shit. And unfortunately, that's just the way it is. It's the trade-off. You have to know what it is that you're looking for and the cost. And we use in business school, it's called opportunity cost.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
I
and,
I think I want to expound. I guess since we've kind of gone through most of the episodes, I think I want to expound on what you said about perpetuating that men ain't shit.
mm,
And I think the biggest aspect of what perpetuates that men aren't shit or shouldn't feel the way that they should feel is the devaluing and the devalidation of men's voices. You know,
mm,
when we speak, it's about what is heard. You know what I'm saying? It's about when we express ourselves, how is that viewed?
right,
Warren said something earlier about sassy views, you know what I'm saying? And that's usually attributed to uh that's usually attributed to how uh
My bad.
sassy views this nigga Warren throwing me off. But that's usually attributed to how a man, puts himself out there. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like when a man puts himself out there, that's the only time he gets called sassy. You know what I'm
right,
saying? Is when
Facts.
he's expressing himself in a way. That's the only time you start to see, oh yeah, sis. You know, they want to call you
mm,
sis. They want to, call you sassy or whatever the case may be. But the reality
They
is,
used to go to war and fight for us.
oh yeah, nigga, go build a house. You know what I'm saying? What you doing? Wasting your time. They go chase some oil. You know what I'm saying?
wow,
But I mean, and these are extreme. You know what I'm saying? These are extreme. But what I will say is, we started off the year, I think, good, so socially, not podcast wise, just socially. But I
mm,
think as the year went about, it just seems as if we started losing sight of what it means for a man to express his voice and what he has going on. And so I think there's a couple of real examples of that. I think the party record, that he did,
wait,
that party did to Tory kind of showed that a little bit. It kind of exuded that. And so for those who didn't know, Meg Thee Stallion dropped a record, I think, called Cobra. It's surrounding around her mental health, and she insinuated that a man, not Party, I don't know, she ain't name him in the song, but was getting head in her bed, and I think Party came out and did a rebuttal to that, because they're both artists, and I respect that,
Yes.
actually, because we talked about that, right?
mm,
Is that she did her record, he did his record, and it seems as if when he came out and expressed some of the things that he felt about how he was being treated in their relationship, however, none of us
Felt
were
and
there,
experienced.
and experience, yeah, his experience. It just seemed as if it it wasn't received as if he had been through some shit as well. You get
right,
what I'm saying? Like
mm,
that's just my take. It just wasn't received
Hey man,
that
fuck
well.
all that. Sam being nice. Nah. When that man dropped that record, the first thing I said was, boy, this is the most eloquent, respectful response track I've heard from a man or woman that was involved in a relationship in my life with the
mm,
industry. Like, the man didn't talk down
eloquent,
about her,
yeah,
showed
eloquent,
that he cared. Hell, I felt the man still loved her in the record.
sure,
He talked about how, the transgressions that were against him when he was standing by her, when at the same time he was being highlighted by so many people in the world for being a rider for Meg. And then this man speaks about what hurt him, what upset him, what bothered him from somebody he truly loved and trusted, how he was hurt, how he was lied to. and this man got called sassy, punk, shut up, gaslit, and this is the thing that a lot of y'all had said, and I was like, okay, this is the prime definition of gaslighting and manipulation. It's like, well, she didn't mention his name, so if you know that same day, let's say if you're Meg, you know that same day, everybody is assuming it's party. You hop on live for other things to confirm certain stuff.
Right.
You couldn't hop
That's
on
true.
live and say, hey, I wasn't talking about him.
And
all
let's
this would
be
have been
real.
dead.
Buddy was getting flamed like that. I ain't gonna lie. When that track dropped, it dropped like midnight. I was like, damn it, my timeline tomorrow.
He about to go through hell.
He about to go through it, right? Like, I was like, damn, this nigga got hit in her bed. Oh God, this is terrible. You know, like it's just bad. And he did. He was trending for the majority of the day. And you're right. Nobody came out and said, oh, it wasn't him. There was no clarification about it. Anything.
Right.
So when he responds and y'all use that as a tactic, it's like, yo, this is gaslighting manipulation. Like,
well,
definition.
I'm not doing devil's advocate. What I'm saying is, I think men having a voice that we use is new. It's new.
Facts.
And what happens is, just because you have a voice doesn't mean what you say is for public consumption. And and I'm not gonna name any podcasts, but there are plenty of podcasts that spit vitriol and toxicity into the internet, and they go viral. And that's a man having a voice, but nobody's delineating whether or not what they're saying is valuable to society, or is it some selfish, myopic to what they want to do with their lives, and not something that's generalizable. What Party did was something that was really about his life. He didn't extend it out to other men or other women, and they attacked him. And that's where I have a problem. It's like, he didn't generalize his experience to women. He said this particular woman. You know what I mean? Like, this woman right here. And her people and her, her fans came to her defense in her bad behavior. Like, we don't have a judge and jury for the men voice. That's my point. Like, we could be saying something that's really true, and really eloquent, and we'll get attacked. I don't ride with Kevin Samuels. God rest the dead, and your friend brother. I know. Because his method, it was his method. I never said what he said wasn't true. It was his method that I didn't agree with as a therapist, and he wasn't one, but he spoke as a subject matter expert. That's what it boils down to. Just because you have a voice doesn't mean you're saying it in the right way. You know what I'm saying? Can you imagine if you tried to sing and you can't sing? You got a voice.
I do it in the shower every day.
Yeah, but should you?
Well, you're singing the right lyrics, but it's like,
is it the right key? I mean, are you doing more harm than good to the song?
Harmonizing, my brother.
I mean,
hopefully my wife don't hear
and the
it.
crazy thing about it is, you could be singing the same exact words, right? But it don't hit the same, right?
It don't hit the same. That's what I'm saying. So I think part of it is there are a group of women out there that have no interest in us having a voice. Those are women that I would consider they are enveloped in the victim mindset. Men ain't shit. I'm gonna prove that you ain't shit, and I'm gonna provide receipts, and then I'm gonna feel good about myself.
And I just want to interject real quick. There's a lot of men out there who feel the same way about women.
But
and we need to change that.
I was literally about to say that. Like,
my bad.
We also had, no, you're good, but that's the point. It's like, you know it and I know it. You know it to the point that you can say it. I was about to say it. That means it's generalizable. Like, we all see it, but we're not calling that shit out. And if we want to get back to a community where we could have, the civil rights episode be a reality for us, we have to stop destroying one another publicly and privately. Like, we could definitely call out bullshit, but reality is, if I ain't got no dog in that fight, and I don't have a dog in Meg and Party's relationship.
Yeah.
So why do I need to be worried about my marriage? You understand what I'm talking about? Yeah. Like, I need to be worried about my family. Like, yeah, y'all over there doing some fuck shit, but the reality is that don't keep no lights on over here. That don't help my kids. So I'm gonna stop investing my energy in the toxic shit. We need friends to distract us from the shit that's happening in the world. That's healthier
Yes.
than just being on Twitter and providing receipts to some stranger. But
Yeah.
that's the society that we live in. We literally stay in our homes. I ain't going nowhere. COVID picking back up. Like we're creating this toxic environment that's going to cause us to implode. And I'm worried about that going into 2024. So I mean, I'm just not trying to put a dark cloud on the year coming. I'm saying that we need to reverse course.
Yeah, we need to bring
And
it back. We need to bring it back.
And I just want to add touch some to this party topic for the men, and I'm speaking strictly to the men. Yo, even though you may get attacked for voicing your opinions on certain topics or how you truly feel, if you're doing it in a respectful manner, hey, bro, speak your mind. Speak up. Like, I know for a very long time we've been told to just grin and bear everything. As long as you are holding yourself in a respectable manner, listening to the other party that you may be having conversations with, whether you disagree or agree with them, like, speak your mind, bro, because it's a lot of us out here suffering in silence. It's a lot of brothers out here who should only be working 40 hours a week, working 80 hours a week because they're afraid to go home because they can't be them true selves. They can't express themselves the way they want to. Like, this shit is bad out here, man, and we need more of y'all to stand up and speak your mind. Listen, but at the same time, speak your mind and be confident when you do so, and understand that you're strong enough to deal with whatever consequences come from that, good or bad.
And have some friends that can call you out on your bullshit. Because just because you speak in your mind, doesn't mean you in the right mind.
Okay,
so
that's true too.
You got to have people to run stuff by. You can't just be all in your head with it, because that's literally the definition of insanity. It's like you only in your head about how things should go. That's a little narcissistic, and I think that we need to start calling a spade with that. Like, get good friends, people that call you out on your bullshit. Be like, bro, you crazy with that.
Okay, so I think this is a perfect segue. You're talking about not holding things in and speaking your mind. Recently, Christian Keys has come out and said that a powerful man in Hollywood, billionaire, so to speak, has been sexually harassing him for years. And I don't think he went as far as rape or anything like that, but he's been sexually harassed. He said that he's been touched. The the individual has used try to play it off as like, oh, I've got a couple too many drinks. And has even tried to even climb in bed with him before, is I think what the allegations are. He has not confirmed or denied any of the names that have been thrown out there. And it just seems as if, because he hasn't done that there's some suspicion as to why he would come out and put his truth out there.
Right.
What do you guys feel about that?
I'm going to give the ignorant response first. Hey, man, whoever was going at that man for speaking his truth, fuck you. And that comes from me. I just want that to be known.
All right,
I'm
duly
going to say
noted.
it again just so you heard me. Fuck you. That man out there going through some real shit, spoke his mind, out here potentially trying to protect other black men who would be in that same position. Because let's be real, I'm not in that circle, but I'm pretty sure if you in that circle, those people know who he's referring to.
I mean,
their names out there, people, and I ain't finna put that on nobody, but I'm saying if you with that man, rode that man, in most cases, the people that are around him would know who he's referring to. I could be wrong, but in most cases, people tend to know, like, hey, he's talking about such and such, but he can't say who it is because he won't have a career after he said.
Well, who are they speculating? Who are they speculating that such and such is?
Well, they're saying a powerful billionaire or powerful, very rich.
It's a black man that has provided a lot of opportunities for black actors and actresses, so I don't want to say his name on the public platform. He is a person that I wasn't a fan of his work, but I do appreciate what he does.
I
and
mean, that's
providing
normal.
opportunities for people that look like him, all the things that he's overcome. So I'm not going to say his name, but
So
you
Norman Lear provided great opportunities for black actors and actresses.
I haven't heard of anybody to this degree that this man has done. So,
Right.
but I'm
And
not in that field, so
What
there could be others.
what I'll say is there's been some black names put out there. That's
Right.
black
That's my point.
men's names, and so there's only so many black men billionaires in Hollywood. So
Your
which
grandmama liked this person. All right, how about that?
I think what else? For me, I would want to understand what was his goal in making the statement. If it wasn't to, I mean, was he just trying to put it out there just in case something happened to him, or like how did this?
Well, in the video
I
to
don't
me,
know. I mean,
it's just,
it's
I'm
just
gonna be honest with you, Miguel. In the video to me, it just seemed like he was like, "Bruh, I've been suffering with this," and it didn't even seem like he wanted to come out and like, cause for you talk about a billionaire, if he wanted to, he could have filed suit, probably, came out, tried to get some money out of it. It just seemed to me, this is my take, that he just was tired of people not knowing what he's been going through. And he just wanted to put it out there. Now, it seems as if people now want to know, okay, well, who is it? And I think he stopped short of saying who it was, and who knows why, because nowadays, there's legal ramifications. If you don't have some substantive, proof, you saying somebody's name,
you got to prove it.
Ruin your life. Yeah, it could ruin your life.
Or they could take you out.
Yeah, either
But I got a question. Isn't he ruined now?
Well, I think he may be ruined from a professional standpoint, but not from a, I don't think he'll be ruined. He may be ruined from a professional standpoint, but he don't have nobody having to come after his finances, directly.
Yeah.
He may be able to still go do other things, but my assumption is if you say a name, you got to put, you got to put something on that, right? And so if so and so touched my booty one time, pause.
Right.
I was gonna let you rock because we talking about a serious situation.
And I ain't got, what I'm saying? And I ain't got no proof that, I can't put it out there like, hey, buddy did that. And he could stand to lose hundreds of millions of dollars. So he could come at me for that, and I got no proof. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. And so I think there may be reasons why he's being careful about how he's putting the message out there, but he also want to put his message out there. Now, him putting his message out there could be means for others who have been,
who
targeted,
are a little bit more solidified in their position
and may have a little more proof.
Yeah.
To come out and say something.
Here's the thing. Terry Crews came out and I think he eventually named a name.
Yeah.
Of an executive in Hollywood that had groped him. And because he came out and said it, he was attacked. So to me, that's a little bit more in line with what we're saying. Like we're saying, here's this person that had the courage to stand up to his oppressor, to his abuser, to his assaulter, and he's standing in his truth. And then he caught hell for it.
I think he did, but others were able to substantiate his story though, because that happened. What happened to Terry happened in public,
right? And that's what I'm saying. Like this brother has come out, made this statement. I'm not saying what he's saying is not true, but what I'm saying is that how could he expect that here's Terry with all the evidence and still catching hell, and he doesn't, and he's providing no evidence? Like it's something, you can't be mad at a shark for biting, because that's what the fuck a shark does. And we live in a society where if you're gonna come out, be prepared for the vitriol that comes with it. There are abusers out there that'll be probably on Twitter attacking you because they are triggered by your message of tattling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they're an abuser. Like we don't know who these people are behind these tweets. But at the end of the day, here it is. This man had evidence, had support, And what they did is try to emasculate him and make him less of a man. Here's this brother coming out with a message: no attacker, just generalized comments. There are a few billionaires in Hollywood. There are a few black male billionaires in Hollywood. The question is, right now, for example, Diddy is getting hit left and right, and he's known to be a billionaire. He's been funding movies. He's been funding shows. He's on Revolt. He had a major media outlet. Tyler Perry ain't in Hollywood. Tyler's over here in Atlanta. Now, he's always had rumors of, being some type of having a harem of men. You know what I mean? Like it's always been something that kind of
that one before.
I mean, it wasn't. Remember the Boondocks?
No, I'm talking about. I mean, he could like men, but I ain't never heard of somebody say a harem of men.
Harem of men.
Well, I mean, if you saw the Boondocks, you know what I'm talking about.
I knew what you meant.
So it was, but it's been speculated, and my problem is that instead of us riding with our people, we are immediately quick to throw our people under the bus. We assume because he said this person has helped black actors, as if that meant it was a black person. There's been plenty of black people in Hollywood that ain't helped nobody black.
Facts.
All right, so I'm just gonna put it out there like that, and we immediately assume, forget what's his name, Weiss? What is it, Weissman?
Weinstein.
Harvey Weinstein. Forget him.
Yeah.
Forget the dude with Ted Cruz. We ain't gonna look at the people that have actually been sexually assaulting us since we've been in this country. We're just gonna immediately point to a black person, which to me kind of speaks to we've drank the Kool-Aid about black men being bad. And that's my problem, is that even when we have a voice, it's taken with a grain of salt. And that,
I'll take your point. I'll absorb your point. I actually think that that's true. But I also will say, I don't actually 100% agree with the say the name or shut up rhetoric that's been going on.
I don't either.
And the reason being is because, he made it clear. It's not as if his assault happened over the phone. He had phone conversations. He was saying that this dude would make passes at him on sets, knowing that,
evidence.
It's places where he may not have substantial evidence. And we gotta, I think that when women come out and say they were harassed, it's very difficult for you, even when they don't tell you who harassed them, because there's several people who will tell you, I've been harassed in Hollywood. I've been, I've heard, several women actresses speak on the harassment and the things they've had to go through without naming names. Mm-hmm. And nobody's told them to shut up and say who it is.
There are a lot of ignorant people that say, "Oh well, we shouldn't believe her because she ain't saying the name." Like I see that shit often.
I mean, and I'm just saying, from my standpoint, I've seen, and I'm saying most of the time it's not women. I've seen men telling men telling this man to shut up, stamp on it. I don't want to hear it. And I'm like, well, that's not the way to even if you think about it like, okay, well, if you don't put a name on it, then I don't know if I'm inclined to believe him. That's on you. You don't have to believe him. But to silence him, in my opinion, is the space where it's like, do we value what men say? Do men value what men say?
So the Four Agreement says that nothing someone else does is about you. All right, so this brother comes out, he says what he says, and he gets this blowback from men. And, it's funny. I use this as an example. When I do group therapy, and it could be a very high emotional space because people are sharing and they're getting feedback immediately. And I put the box of tissue in the middle of the group. And sometimes when people start crying, another member of the group will pick up the tissue and try to give it to them. And I immediately correct that. I'm like, no, don't do that, because you're telling them to shut the fuck up. And that means that person is being triggered by this message. Maybe it happened to the guy, that's telling him to shut the fuck up. Maybe that person is dealing with a trauma of their own, and they're
Yeah.
like, you know, here you are telling the shit that I've been through, and your ass won't name, and hey, you ain't shit. The
Yeah.
fuck, you know, and that's where you get the energy from, because it's like, why do they have so much energy?
Yeah.
Where is that coming from? And typically it comes from personal experience. This is the proverbial tissue box being handed to him. You know, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
You ain't telling me nothing. You just giving me emotions that I'm not comfortable with.
Yeah, and
Because
that's
I
what
because I
that's
dealt with
my
my shit.
space. I just don't want them to give him the tissue box. If he said it, what he said, let him put it out there. And if in due time he wants to, you know, he wants to put the name out there and he has what he need in order to do so,
I mean, maybe it was
that's
a
on
threat.
him.
Maybe it's a threat.
And that's quite possible, right? And
Yeah.
there's others that's like, oh well, if he just threatening and trying to get money, then he a clout chaser. I'm like, you know,
No, I'm saying he threatening him to make him stop.
so
Like,
that
keep
may
on,
be
motherfucker.
that may be going
Yeah.
on too. That may be
Right.
going on too. But from my stance, I'm just saying we should be able to put our messages and stories out there without being told, you know, and put them out there how we comfortable putting them out. You know what I'm saying? Because whether it's true or not, I'm not the judge of that. But it's clear he wanted to get something out, and I
Right.
think that, you know, we in the sensitive time that we're in, we got to be sensitive to men dealing with shit too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, there's been hella stories about men having to get a booty up in Hollywood. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the real. It's
Yeah.
been if you want to talk, I don't know about harem of men for certain people, but you know, you don't have to go far to hear stories about people getting taken advantage of in order to get to where they need to be in that space.
Sure.
And we know that gay men run those industries. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's another aspect of it. You know, we know that that's a, you know, when you're talking about the artsy industry, you know, dance, theater, it's just real. And so there's things that they have to deal with that I'll never have to deal with because I ain't in that space, you know.
Right. I mean, the assumption is that gay men are running it, but there are gay men that are being sexually taken advantage of by
Oh,
gay
Yeah,
men in
yeah,
power.
yeah.
So it's not just the gays run it. They are experiencing the same sexual assault that women are experiencing that are heterosexual, that men are experiencing that are heterosexual traditionally. And it's not just gay men. It's just I may be considered anti-Semitic, but the Jewish community runs entertainment.
Yeah.
They own most of the movie theaters. They own the movie companies. Is one reason why Tyler Perry built his own space, because they always had an opinion about what he should do.
What will make money won't.
Right. And so he wanted to tell our stories through his eyes without it being altered. And as a result, he's a billionaire for it. So there's always influence. The question is, how bad do you want it? Like when you're being propositioned, if you're willing to sell your soul, then I have a different conversation for you.
And
You know what I mean?
think,
Like it's just it really boils down to how people feel about themselves.
Mikhail, I want you to I actually want to kind of take this conversation just one little step further, and I think that you can help us do it with your experience
Okay.
as far as it's the pathology of the abuse. Like it just seems as if when I used to work with children that were abused, they turn into the abusers.
That's right.
You know,
Oh yeah.
that happened a lot of times. Like you'll go through and you'll read about them being abused, and then you'll read the complaint about how they abuse someone close to them, and the way
Right.
that they're abusing that person is the same way that they were being abused.
Correct.
And so, can you speak to that, like the pathology of that, in more of a?
There's a couple of components to it. One of them is, just because you were abused does not mean you become an abuser. There are plenty of people that have gone through that did not go down that path, but the ones that have, they tend to have a history of low self-esteem, and they find that because they were sexually abused, as a child has a very dichotomous view of the world: good, bad, right, wrong, value, not value. If sex is how I'm being valued, then sex must be valuable. So if you have low self-esteem, you don't want to be low self-esteem, so you focus on what you know is valuable, sex. Society promotes it, society rewards it. Why can't I have some of this? And what ends up happening is they don't see anything wrong with it because they survived it. And they don't think about they know it's wrong because they hide it, but that's where they feel like they feel sexually comfortable because they're still a child. They were traumatized as a child, so sexually they're still a child. Like when I was coming through my program, I told Dr. Williams, God rest his soul, that I cannot work with pedophiles. And he helped me understand that you don't treat the pedophile, you treat the child that was sexually abused, because 100% of the sexual abusers were sexually abused. Not everybody that was abused becomes an abuser, but 100% of the ones that do, they were sexually abused. So you have to treat them. They have to forgive that. So that process is definitely a little bit more nuanced than I could really share in the minutes that we have left. But it boils down to, hurt people. When I first came to Atlanta, I wanted to be in the music business. And that's what I pursued. And I was fortunate enough to have a pure view into it. And the things that I saw were people that had shitty deals that are now in control or giving shitty deals to artists themselves, even though they know how they felt about the shitty deal. It was done to me. I was taken advantage of, and I'm like, well, so you're going to take advantage of somebody else instead of riding the ship? That's the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. When people get hurt, they tend to turn into that. When men are puppies and the girl cheats on him and he turns into a stray dog and starts fucking everything moving because he was hurt sexually, because that's how men see sex. Like, oh, you cheated on me. It must mean something about me. So I'm going to go ahead and prove the world that nothing's wrong with me. And I ain't going to never get close to nobody again. So it boils down to those experiences that kind of set the tone for who we are as adults. If you don't work on that stuff, you will continue to have chaos in your life. If this brother doesn't go to therapy and work through him being sexually harassed, I'm not saying that he's going to harass somebody, but he may say some slick shit one day.
Yeah.
He might, especially if he's in a power position and he likes what he sees.
Okay. All right. Well, since we talk about shitty individuals, Jada Pinkett Smith. I think we can end off on this one because I think this is one. Me and Mikhail don't disagree often, right? But when Will Smith did that bullshit he did, I think that was the one episode where me and Mikhail went back and forth because he was like, "Yeah, fuck that. I would have did the same shit." And I was like, "Yeah, nah."
That was me.
And I was like, "Nah." Will was a punk for that shit, And what pissed me off is it was afterwards, in my opinion, I felt more and more validated in my stance that he shouldn't have did that shit for her. And I think that, I she decided to do a book tour. After he did his book, she decided to do her book.
Right.
And it just seems as if, she placed all the blame on Will for what occurred, and even then was just like, yeah, I didn't ask to be protected like that. I don't, basically came out saying a bunch of stuff, even coming out and saying like me and Will weren't even calling each other husband and wife at that time. So I was shocked that he was saying, keep my wife name out your mouth. Like it just was a lot of just, it was just too much for me.
Yeah. It's a lack of support.
It's a lack of support for somebody that put his neck out there. Cause the consequences of it was Will was suspended from the Oscars Association, the little club. And he can't come to, he can't come, or I don't think he could be nominated for one in the next 10 years. Right. And so it's for an actor, I think that puts a damper on your career to a degree. Thank God he won one before he got excommunicated.
Before he got banned.
Yeah, before he got banned.
I'm gonna say this. Let me add something, bro. Like, unfortunately, but fortunately, Jada's not wrong in that regard. Like, I think it was fucked up that she didn't support him but it is 100% his decision because she didn't say go up there and beat that joker's ass. You know what I mean? It wasn't explicit. He made it about him. And remember, I said like 4 agreements. Rarely, if things people do have to do with somebody else, it has to do with their internal stuff. Like if you read the book and were able to observe his behavior, it matched what he wrote in the book. You know, Will has to have idealistic imaging. Like image is everything, and it didn't look good on him for Chris Rock, somebody that tried to holler at his wife, supposedly.
Can't have it.
You know, talking shit about her in my presence. I'm
Front
Will
row,
fucking
too?
Smith, front
Got to
row.
smack the shit out you, nigga.
Yeah, it's so disrespectful. So his reaction was about him. You know,
some
and
whole shit.
no, I'm saying
No what?
keep your name, keep my wife's name out your mouth.
Try to
Meaning,
get that money.
meaning, hold on. Meaning, don't you disrespect my family in my presence. This is because if Will wasn't there, what would have happened?
Nothing.
Nothing. Chris,
If Will
he
wasn't
tried
there, we would have laughed at a regular joke
and moved on. But this was
Yeah.
about Will. This was a trigger for him and his imaging, his desire to have this perfect image.
It's fragile.
hold on.
Ass
I gotta say
egos
this 'cause I
protecting
wanna
a
get on the-
woman that don't even give a fuck enough to protect.
But he wasn't
him.
protecting her.
Nah. I got to get on the Jada shit. Like he said all that shit about we wasn't saying hubby and all this. Where the fuck was this shit at when we was having this scandal with you in August? You ain't say this shit then.
Man, whatever. It's a sham. It's all a fucking. It's the veil has been lifted, guys.
It's good acting.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
some
for Will,
bullshit.
'cause
Listen,
Jada
not
obviously-
it's acting for her too. Well, actually, no. I'll give Jada this. She consistent. She don't want that nigga. That nigga want the fuck out of her, and he can't have her. He can't have her. That's all it is. August had her. Will hasn't had her in a while, and that's the reality of what's going on here. It was he's getting his ego hurt every day when he wakes up next to her or in the quarters where they stay with her, and then when he goes out in public, he just can't allow it to happen anymore, and so that's why he went and did that shit. But it's really Jada beating his ass every single day.
Right.
Small cuts every single day to his pride.
He's a
And
volunteer at this point, though. I said he's a volunteer. He ain't a victim no more. He a volunteer.
It's like, nigga, if anybody should be slapped, it's you, nigga. Like, you don't see that bitch don't want you. like at the end of the day, you done went out here. You could have caught a whole charge. It could have been worse for him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sure.
And what I'm saying is like you done did all of that over a woman that don't want you, bruh. Like, and eventually, who knows how far down he will fall from grace because of this woman.
I don't think it's about
that
her. It's about him and his self-image.
Agreed. But what I'm saying is
like you
his
could put if
self-image-
it wasn't Jada, you could put somebody Michelle, you could put somebody Carla, you could put anybody in the place of like Jada has her own issues, which I think would be more in line with what we're saying in terms of shit being toxic. But Will has his own burden, and his burden is that he wants to create this perfect image that was opposite his childhood experience.
Yeah, and then Jada gonna post Tupac dancing every goddamn week,
right?
On her post, it's like, come on, man.
Right. So I think that they both are at war. He's at war with himself, and she's clearly at war with him. So it's sad to see it, but it's human. This is a part of being human. Like, we're not perfect, and in spite of what we may try to do, ain't nothing perfect, and shit ain't sweet all the time. Shit ain't sweet all the time in my life, and I'm a therapist, and I don't give a fuck. Shit be fucked up, and I'll tell you. Being a therapist doesn't mean I don't have issues. Being a superstar that's damn near a billionaire doesn't mean you don't have family issues. Like, it's just being human, and I think that's the part that we're forgetting more often than not, is that everybody that we name today is having a human experience, and we're judging them based on those experiences that are not uncommon to us. If I was an artist, maybe I'll make a rap song about shit that I go through, but that's his outlet. Meg, she said, I talk about sex, that's what I do. it is what it is. That just tells me when people tell you who they are, you got to believe them
Yeah.
and hold them to that standard. But we make them up to be more than what they want to be. You know, just because somebody's fine does not mean she good to go or that he's good to go. They probably have more issues than people that we don't find as attractive. But nobody want to talk about
Sure,
that.
fine ones were always the most crazy ones.
I mean, yeah.
It is what it is. That's been our experience. That's our shared experience.
Yes, in my personal experience.
Yeah, it's been my shared experience.
Yes.
And I'm just gonna say this, just to end off and cap off the Will Jada thing, man. I just hope that one day this nigga love himself as much as he love that bitch.
I want him to love himself as much as he loved the image.
The image of him with that bitch. Like at the end of the day, you know, at the end of the day, you know, the lengths that he would go for that one right there. And you know I don't call women bitches, but boy, that one right there.
Yeah, you clearly have some thoughts.
Oh man, like she's just different.
I hope that nigga never sees this podcast.
Oh man, fuck him. You know, he ain't gonna slap me. He ain't gonna slap me. He ain't gonna slap me. I promise you that. And, actually, I hope he does because I need some of that money. Go ahead, Will. I need some of that money.
I'm more in line of thinking of to help him. Like, if he reaches out to me and be like, "Hey, I like what you said. You held me accountable. You know, can you fuck with me for a little bit?" And I'd be like, "It's telehealth, and we'll do it." But
I know, but love yourself, Will. Like, love yourself. You know. And you know, cut that. I mean, the whole image thing. Love yourself enough to see yourself in the image without her in the picture. That would be great. Because
it's not gonna be. He bought that house for his image. He married her for that image. You. That's what I'm saying. Like it's a lot deeper. When I read that book, I understood Will Smith at another level than I had ever understood him before, and it all makes sense now. Like all of it.
So
to me,
pussy got to be fine.
It ain't though. It ain't though. She not giving him that August Alsina coochie.
She's not giving.
Don't do that.
She's not giving him that.
In the beginning, he got
it. He ain't getting that. August got that. Okay, what he's getting is the image of what he wants.
Right.
But he's not getting that. She clearly did not want to be with him forever.
Well, I think she wanted a casual relationship.
Yeah, it's clear.
But to be fair, Jada did not go and bail Tupac out. So, you know, there's that part. And she clearly had $1 million or access to it if she didn't do it.
Yeah.
So, you know, to say that the reason why she doesn't want Will is because of Pac, I would say. But I mean, that's some of the stuff that's out there.
She just don't want Will.
Right. I'm saying that's some of the stuff out there. I think Will and her were good in the moment. But because of the feedback that he got from Hollywood and she was on a popular show, that she was the ideal pick versus the common women that he was dating. Yeah. Like he was dating the chick, you know, that work at a store. Like it wasn't like a star. And Will wanted to be a superstar. Everything about that book is about being a superstar, owning that house, where he bought it, all of it. Yeah. And, you know, this is what focusing on idealism gets you.
And that's what goes
to Warren's point. That's Warren's point.
Money ain't shit.
Yeah.
Money ain't shit. It ain't gonna make you happy, man. Because this nigga Will is out here living like a simp, with gazillions of dollars in his pocket. And you know, God bless him, man. I hope that, like I said, one day he'll love himself enough to want the best for himself, and that doesn't include the facade that he's created.
You know, he abandons it.
Yeah, I do too, man. And that's
we love you, Will. We want the best for you.
That's 2023. We want the best for everybody. That's 2023 wrapped up.
Not everybody, most.
I want the best for everybody.
I want it for everybody that want it.
Mikhail always has a way of bringing that shit around. Yes, I want it for everybody that wants it too.
Right.
And that's here's to 2023, man. I think we covered a lot. Yeah, cheers to 2023. We'll be topping off 2024. I think we'll be at our 100th episode within the next 2 or 3 episodes that we do.
Hey,
I got to talk some quick shit.
Go
first, I just want to shout out Mikhail and Sam for being excellent brothers in the world, man. Like bringing so much to society, being
Appreciate you.
great fathers, being great husbands, man, being great community activists, man. I love y'all, brothers. I appreciate y'all as we go into the new year. I'm glad
Yeah.
that we get to speak on more topics. We get to give back more. We get to be a voice for brothers who may not feel comfortable yet speaking about some of the things that they are going through. And, you
Right.
know, to have this platform in order to do so, like, I am truly blessed. Brothers, I don't know if y'all notice, sometimes I take these shots just for y'all because I want to speak for y'all, and I want y'all to know, like, it's people out here fighting for y'all. We fighting for our sisters as well. I'll let Mikhail and Sam speak on that more because they may say, nah, Warren, you can't speak on this. But I do. Because I love y'all. There is no me without y'all. For my sisters out there that are trying to level up into the next year, like, I'm praying for you. I want the best for you. Like, we need you. Please get away from this rhetoric of we don't need each other. Like, in 2024, I would love for us to say, nah, fuck all that. We need each other. And we need to build with each other. We need to hear each other's sides. We need to listen.
Especially
we need to listen to each other.
Especially what we're about to face in 2024.
Yeah.
Yes, we need to listen to each other, have empathy for each other, and want to grow together to build something special because we have the power to do so. All this shit wouldn't be coming against us if they didn't fear what we are capable of doing when we work together and are on the same page.
That's real. I mean, I think, you know, for me wrapping up 2023, I say, you know, thank you for Warren for thanking us, but I would like to thank you as well for, you know, bringing a different value to the show, you know, adding a little bit of different spice to the show. Mikhail, thank you as always for doing what you do, and I think that I just want to be real about what this platform is. You know, yeah, we get on, we talk about all the shit that's going on, but it's for me the most valuable part about this show is what we do before and after, which is we really rap as brothers. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? We really get together, we talk, we decompress, we yell, we scream, we fight. And I mean, sometimes it get ugly, you know. Sometimes it's just like, nah, man, fuck that, what you talk about, you know. But at the same time, I think that I mean, for me, when I don't do this, I feel it, and my assumption is when y'all don't do it, y'all feel it too.
Yeah, there's no
You know
assumption.
what I'm saying?
Facts.
And so I just want to appreciate what this is, you know, because you know, black men have a community that like literally having a time out to just talk is a big deal, man. And I just appreciate y'all getting on and doing this with me.
1000%. I ain't got nothing to say. Y'all done said everything. Thank y'all. You know,
Yeah.
thank everybody from that's been supporting us, listening to us. Continue to share, continue to like, subscribe, send us feedback, send us topics that you want to hear men talk about, and we'll keep doing our thing. You know, we did it for ourselves, but we realized that there's a community out there that felt like there was a need for it as well, and we appreciate that. So, thank everybody for just making it worthwhile, and I appreciate all of you.
All right. And just like that, I mean, I'm Sam Dupe and I'm good.
Hey, I'll tell Mikhail I am good.
I'm Warren P and I'm good.
All right. Happy 2023.
Happy New Year.
Happy New
Peace.
Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy Kwanzaa.
You know?
Peace.